Dude, are we gonna lock the klepto in? Dude! We locked the klepto in! This is sick. You love to see it. Oh my god. Dude, I can't believe this really happened. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We missed a few days of streaming, but we are back for viewer games, Phobies viewer games. And we're going to be getting into it in just a couple minutes. What's good, chat? I am, honest to God, I feel like I'm saying this every week now, but like I'm super wiped. I had a very, very long tournament yesterday. I did top 8. I did throw in the top 8 and then immediately got knocked out, but that happens. I'll be doing a tournament report and breakdown and stuff like that hopefully this week. I want to try and get a quick turnover on that if I can help it. But real life has got to take precedence, and I kind of took a day off to play in that tournament, and as mentioned, missed a couple days of streaming because I wanted to try and I honest to God tried to go to bed early to prep for the tournament, and then just didn't. I couldn't fall asleep, so then I was at the tournament all day, didn't even get home until like 10 p.m. And, yeah, it was bad. Well, I mean, it was good, but it's tough. I'm late to the party, but finally seeing Transformers 1 on Tuesday. Wait, as in you saw it this past Tuesday, or you're going to see it this coming Tuesday? Either way, I won't spoil it for you. I thought it was great. I thought it was an excellent movie. Like, number 2, maybe number 3 Transformers movie. The one that it would, like, the best one is the 84 movie. Nothing's going to beat that. For, like, both personally and I think objectively, it is the best Transformers movie. Then you'd have to consider, like, the made-for-TV movies. And one that I put very highly is, Predacons Rising, which is the cap on Transformers Prime. I think Transformers 1 beats it, but I think that one, the Transformers Prime one, would be number 3, and, like, I try to pretend the Bay movies don't exist. I do appreciate what they did for the franchise as far as, like, they brought in a ton of money. Like, Transformers was eating well for a while. But, yeah. They're mostly doo-doo. They're mostly doo-doo. Pretty much. But chat, as far as Phobies go, like I said, we're going to be getting into some viewer games. I, of course, at the beginning have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means the Phobies team gives me coffee for producing Phobies content. And speaking of coffee, there's apparently Wild West Bargains, limited time special offers. Sure. I've already put my money into Phobies that I'm going to put in. That's a... Sorry, I'm so tired. Like, I couldn't quite tell how many zeros were on this for a second. It's a 300,000 XP bundle. Did have to explain the difference between thousands and millions to someone offline. Got a new rotation. These are some cute maps. We'll see if Desolation Row and Ill Intent stay in the rotation. I hope they do for the next Monster of the Week, our weekly tournament series. Devs provide coffee for that also. Content affiliate disclaimer, blah, blah, blah. We just went through that. Check it out in the Discord. So if Phobies pays me to play it, I ain't touching it. Well, you may be holding out for a while. That whole, like, being a professional gamer thing, I think that dream died a long time ago, right? Yes, you will occasionally have, you have pro teams in League or whatever, or like maybe Counter-Strike or things, but realistically, the people who can make a real career out of strictly playing the game, we're talking like thousandths of a percent, right? And then beyond that, it's really, what's the old saying? If there's a gold rush, you sell shovels. Something like that. I think it doesn't make sense to chase it late. You have to do it early. Yeah, you need to be an early adopter. And you need to have a shtick. You either need to decide when you're jumping into these things, I'm going to be the best and be known for being the best. Or you need to be an entertainer. And then you have to be like good enough to be able to do silly stuff in whatever the game of choice is. And then you have to be so entertaining with your shtick that people come back for it. That sort of thing. And that's a lot harder than you'd believe. It sounds real easy to just talk into a microphone and just be like, I have to be entertaining. I'm real good. And it's like, nah, you're probably not that funny. Or you probably suck. Or both. Maybe you suck at being funny. I don't know. All right, chat, let's get into it. I did have to shrink the latest subscriber and follower thing because W's name is like 45 miles long. But we do need to switch to this scene so that I can keep the secrets alive, chat. We had some pretty quick games last week. We'll see how long the ones are this week. We're starting off with a quick one. Blink and you might miss it. kingBastos here on Lonesome Town. Got carried by Cassowary. Comma. Awesome. This is a 12-turn game. How did you end this game in 12 turns on this map? Like, I'm actually kind of curious. I'm always curious, but like... Alright. Are you like... What are we doing with the Gravedigger here? I don't think the block behind Gravedigger is a great position. I guess you could stick a Innocuous there. And if you break the bottom one, like, who cares? I don't know. This is weird. That's... Alright, sure. Turn 2 Cerberus go. Why not? I think fighting games only recently started paying well. It took Evo expanding it to not Evoing and Capcom. Start the Capcom Cup. Card games are actually paying worse than they used to. That's true. DDR tournaments died. I mean, that was always going to be limited just due to physical hardware, right? Like, no matter what. Fun Zone's bounties died out after the hype around Donkey Kong died. I, honest to God, don't know what that is. Hype around Donkey Kong? What? Are we talking Donkey Kong, like, the 3D games? Or are we talking Donkey Kong, like... We're trying to go for the high score Donkey Kong from a long time ago. Like, and Fun Zone sounds like a Chuck E. Cheese competitor. Dude, what is happening in this game? Like, I don't... We're racing Cassowary against Snowball? I mean, this is a massive panic point advantage, and bad guy can't readily claim this back. I do like the aggressive Ginstinct placement. There is a healing spot up there. You could double move to get back for a muffin if really necessary. Old school, there used to be like a multi-$1,000 prizes around, and people could be the first to do X, but Donkey Kong was sort of the end of that. Interesting. I do vaguely remember that, but that was a long time ago. Like, the era that I'm thinking of was, like, 2006? If I'm even thinking of the same thing. Maybe we're not talking about the same thing. Because this is, like, a super vague recollection. Bad guy apparently hates panic points, or is... Maybe he doesn't hate them, but is seemingly allergic to them. Like, what are we doing here? Is our hero, like, bodying bad guy on levels or something? No, they're not, like... They got a few levels, but it's not like we're talking a 7-level disparity or something. I think around then was right? Okay, maybe we are thinking of the same thing. Because I do kind of remember people talking about Donkey Kong records around that time period. Bad guy. Panic points. Have you heard of them? Panic points. Do you speak it? Apparently, the heart is the only language the bad guy speaks. I don't agree with this game plan. I don't agree with this game plan. This is not going to go well. I guess you're getting carried by cassowary here, but to be honest, like, what? You're getting carried kind of by the panic points to me. That's just me. Yes, there's still RTS tournaments, but again, most pre-Dota and LoL players, like early 20s, because of mechanical skills, John, your hand just fall apart with time. Yeah, I mean, retirement is not uncommon at, like, age 30 for those sort of things. I mean, there are different reasons for that, but some of it's physical skills. Ooh, get the double hit. Oh no, bad guy. Could you have... Imagine if bad guy had ever claimed this left panic point. All you had to do was send a 1 key there. Like, what is this droney doing? I guess the droney's there for additional damage? Or no, you know what? The droney was there to allow for the shove shark shove. That's what it was. That's what it was. All these unnecessary actions when you could just, you know, nom nom the heart. Everyone's favorite nerd. We're gonna counter high five because reasons. Dude, I think the worst part about having that long event, well, I'll explain after. I'm gonna have to do this in the video too because this game is weird. Well, are you talking about Phobies or this particular game of Phobies? I guess that's the question. GG. And we get another bundle. I don't care. So real talk, as I'm pulling up the other game, like, my stomach is a wreck right now and has been all day. Because, like I said, I went to that tournament, but it was like about 2 hours away, right? But it started at 10 a.m. So I wanted to get there early to make sure my registration and everything went through. So I got up on Saturday at like 5:30 in the morning to make sure that I had time and stuff. I got showered, got cleaned, got all my shit together, and I left early. I didn't have breakfast. I said I'll get McDonald's or whatever when I'm there. So I get there, and I get McDonald's at like, say like 8:30. I didn't eat again in anything vaguely resembling a meal until about 9:30 at night, probably, I want to say. I subsisted on Snickers bars and bags of pretzels, which is, like, not good. Let's just put it that way. It's not good. I don't recommend it. It's not a diet that I would recommend to people, let alone if you're diabetic like me. And, yeah, I did drink a lot of water, which is probably the only thing that's keeping me from being like 6 feet under right now. And, yeah, it's tough. It's going to take me a few days to recover, I think. We'll see. I don't mind long events. I hate the travel. I could do back-to-back 10-hour days of shuffling up and keep my brain in check, assuming we get a lunch. Being on the road for hours puts the brain in a weird place. I mean, it's a combination. We didn't get a lunch break, and I did ask them, like, hey, are we going to break at all between the end of Swiss and top 8? And they said no, which I can appreciate because obviously we were playing since, and they were pretty much on time. You know, they did a players meeting and stuff, but they were keeping it on target. And the event still went, you know, I got knocked out in the round of 8, so they still had 2 more rounds to play by the time I left. And that was, you know, it was at least 12 hours at that point, probably. Well, no, it was 10 hours. It was 10 hours, so they probably had at least a 12, 13-hour day at the end. Which, admittedly, like, there are much more difficult things we could have been doing, stuff like that, but it was, like, you know, it is draining. It is draining. We'll keep talking about the event as we go through, but we're going to look at an operationX game, another quick-ish one. Another high-level player versus low-level player game, except the low-level player wins. All right, let's see what kind of disparity we've got here. Once our hero has had the opportunity to play a phobie. The Maggie opener, I would not agree. This is a level 4 versus level... Is this a high level? Okay, so I'm not trying to knock our hero's notes here, but I don't think this is even a high level relative. It probably feels that way, because again, our hero is clearly low stress level. Look at this, like 4 and 5. But like, they have 1 level on you. Let's chill out. Like, yes, they haven't... No one can deny the level advantage. It is a thing. However, let's not get wild. Good play here, claiming this. I will say, both players 100% have access to Gravedigger. Both players chose not to. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Tona, the drama is now... Well, I might do a video on the prize situation for Star Wars Unlimited. It's not good. I mean, I've been joking about it being half a ham sandwich and a pat on the back, but that's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. Baby Snakey. I mean, I fully expect Bad Guy's team to just get annihilated here by the Inoculus. Like, the cassowary just dies for freezies here without having to do anything. If the Daisy or Baby Snakey go in, they're going to get punished real hard, too. That Gravedigger's mostly out of range. So I appreciate the positioning here. I guess there's a world where this Daisy and Droney could kill the cassowary, but that's extremely unlikely. Both based on play pattern and just general numbers. Our hero here is going to have to try and make a commitment, though. Okay, good. We're doing the... Oh, we're going after that? Alright, I mean... I feel like you could have taken the Daisy. I'm not clear on whether that's a body block for the jar or if we're positioning that for the break, but I will point out, either way, there's a Gravedigger on the board. Daisy body blocking here, or Razormouth body blocking Daisy, rather, which is a good play. Unfortunately, Cassowary bites the dust as a result, but you are going to get some takedowns here. Very patient game being played by operationX. Considering that it's a triple panic point advantage, but you should be able to mop this up relatively simply. Obviously contingent on whatever the... Now, this is a great play. This is a really heads-up play, especially from a lower stress level player. If you're out there and you weren't aware, you can drop terraformed obstacles onto the bones in order to eliminate Resurrect Phobies, which is a great play because if you just walk the Gravedigger up, it's going to die. Here, it's protected. Now, you're down terraform, so that means you will need a flyer of your own in order to try and cap that bottom middle panic point. Cowbell's clearly going to claim the top, I believe. I mean, maybe we could see Gravedigger take it, possibly. That Gin Sting offered itself up quite nicely to the shelling from Inoculus as well as Jar. I don't love this if you're not going to kill it. I think it's worth... Well, I don't know. It's... I guess it doesn't matter if you're going to get the win. Either way, but, like... Could have put something on the obstacle. Excuse me. In order to... Or the panic point in order to stem the bleeding a little bit. Like, a 3-0 is a humongous difference compared to our... a 2-1. It's just obviously way more damage, right? But we are going to pick off the Gravedigger eventually. Bad guy absolutely offered up some stuff that they didn't need to. Their phobie choices were questionable at best, but I will say Innocuous does some really mean things. Innocuous does some mean things. But this is a semi-phobies related thing, chap. It's really... It's going to be a Star Wars question, but it kind of relates to phobies in the context of Innocuous. I've talked about the Wizards of the Coast strategy for Modern, for banning things, and that's kind of what I base phobie bans off of for, and this is going back, like the articles from many years ago, but I think the principles are sound. And that's kind of what I base phobie bans off of for phobies tournaments. And recently, people have been collectively shitting a brick over the state of Star Wars Unlimited because Boba Fett, the leader, is kind of dominating everything. Statistically, it is, and we're talking 100-plus person events, or they're supposed to be. There were issues with some, but that's a different discussion. Boba Fett was representing over 60% of the top 8s. Here's the caveat. There are 4 colors, they're called aspects in the game. It's yellow, which is cunning, blue, which is vigilance, green is command, and red is aggression. I'm just going to call them colors because nobody gives a damn about the titles. So there's these 4, right? Boba Fett is playable in all 4 of the colors. He's a yellow leader, but you can play him in a mono yellow shell, a yellow blue shell, a yellow red shell, and a yellow green shell. And they are all competitively viable. They are all unique and distinct archetypes. Technically, yellow and red-yellow are both aggro, but they do it in wildly different ways. To me, that is still a healthy metagame. And statistically, not counting this past weekend, only Boba Green was winning a disproportionate number of events, meaning that Boba Green had, I think, just shy, it was like 39% of the overall wins. Like, it made top 8 and then it won in top 8. All of the others were getting blown out by non-Boba Fett numbers. I think Boba Yellow was tied with Sabine as the second, like, highest win rate among leaders. I have to do another video about this because I had done a video a while back saying, like, people need to stop freaking out. Week 1, because Boba came out and it was doing great. And I said, hey, let's wait and see if people can react and adapt, because now people know that it's there. Like, it's much more respected, because it was always, all of these versions were good decks, but they weren't as popular, like, certainly not to that level. People started to react in week 2. Week 3, people are reacting even more, and it's like Boba is on a fairly steady decline. But is it healthy to have, because what I'm looking at it as is in other card games that don't have a leader system, so like, say, Magic or Lorcana or something like that, if a card is super powerful and showing up in a ton of decks, they would just kind of look at them all together and be like, that card's too powerful. But if the leader is a wildly different archetype, is that it? And I'm not talking from a business, like the game trying to sell more cards and casual play perspective. That's full stop super unhealthy. People want to see a mix of things. But from a competitive play standpoint, you have an aggro deck, 2 aggro decks. You have a mid-range deck that is more late game focused, a mid-range deck that is more early game focused, and you have a late game control deck. And that's before you consider all of the other decks in the meta, which admittedly, obviously, they aren't doing as well. How problematic is that? One Ring being in 7 different Modern decks that aren't even close to being the same deck. I mean, that sounds similar. Now, my understanding of the One Ring is now because of the scarcity is part of the issue. Like the One Ring is $100 or $150 card from my understanding, just talking to people. I don't know if that's actually true. I haven't looked it up. But if it is, and you need 4 copies of it, that immediately makes things very, very expensive. And Magic does have a history of, like, that's one of the rules. If it's a meta share thing and it's showing up too much, cut it. But at least in this case, we've now had 3 weeks of it, and like there are still events. There was one yesterday where the top 8 of a 100+ person tournament had 7 Boba Fett decks and 1 other deck. Most of the others, and I like skimmed the numbers. I didn't look at it because I'm going to have to do the math and stuff before the video. I think it was 3 out of 8, which to me seems like, all right, that's clearly like the best deck in the format, but it's not overwhelming. And I think Boba won a bunch of the events, but once you're in top 8, like it's entirely about how the top 8 breaks down. Like, did you get favorable matchups? Because it's a new tournament. It's just a 3-round single elimination tournament. It's entirely possible that you just line up poorly. The fact that there are ones where it's 7 out of 8 are Boba Fett is problematic. And for you Phobies people that are out there listening to this rambling, where this ties to Phobies is, it's a measure to consider, are things like Innocuous, like we saw in the last game, problematic? I think we all kind of agree they are. But is it? Like I've always said, when it comes to Phobies, the other ones just don't exist. Like, it doesn't bother me that much. I think it is an issue from like, hey, I have a collection full of useless shit. Why am I spending money if I'm just going to get more useless stuff? But at the same time, from a competitive end, who cares? Those things don't exist. And then it just becomes, are the gameplay loops induced by these game pieces enjoyable or not? And people say they're not. Okay, I get it. But I don't know. Just throwing it out there. All right, we're jumping into the next one on Detention with dearh, our hero. I bet you've never seen this combo on this map. Well, I did see the MVPs for this game, so I know what's coming. I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah, I think it's an interesting discussion of, like, I got to be honest, I don't care. It's the same case that I make every time it comes up in Phobies. And I think it applies to a degree to the Star Wars situation as well. If the argument is, well, I want to be able to use these other pieces. Also, bad guy banked to 6 immediately. What is going on? That's a very early Alistair. Is it Alistair or Alistor? Alistor. I looked at it this way. In chess, there's however many pieces. Unique pieces. I mean, so like a pawn is uniquely different from a knight, from a castle, from a bishop, etc. I usually know this number off the top of my head, but I'll be honest, I'm tired. And it's not important. Let's say there's 8 unique pieces. That may be wrong. What if I told you there's actually 300 pieces in chess? Just all the other ones are bad. Or they are so boring that nobody plays them. Because they, like, accomplish nothing. That's not materially different than in Phobies or in these card games, that these other cards are just bad. They don't exist. And to me, the question then becomes, like, can variety in decks or strategies be more enjoyable? Why do you have Phantom and Alistor? Speaking of variety. It's 6? Okay, I was close at least. The variety of strategies and unique Phobies or unique cards or whatever can absolutely improve and make games more interesting. 100%. It can also make them more boring. 100%. But those are just facets of it. I look at it in the same way that I look at balance. That a balance game can be fun. A balance game can be boring. To me, the worst sin a game can commit is being boring. People will play unbalanced games. People won't play boring games. Like, when was the last time that you broke out, like, you got real excited to play Monopoly? Come on. You're only doing that if you actually hate someone and you want to, like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. That's the only reason you play Monopoly. Street Fighter, but all characters are Ryu. I don't find Street Fighter very fun. But, like, can it be? Like, is there a fighting game where, like, wasn't there that one, what was that one fighting game? It's probably like 10 years ago now. Where it was like, wasn't it called Jump Kick? Where it was literally, there was only one attack. Was it Jump Kick? I don't remember. I didn't play it, but people loved that game. Dive Kick, that's it. And like people were going bonkers over that game. There was literally one attack in that game, as I understand it. Again, I didn't play it, so maybe, you know, it is completely wrong. But the point is that it is entirely possible to have a very small set of things, game pieces, actions, whatever, and for it to still be an enjoyable experience. Why are you staying this close to the Cerberus if you just locked it? What? I mean, this does get the kill. Oh, all right, all right. Fair enough. And if bad guy kills the Firkin, it's going to pull it in, making this a guaranteed Waffalo this turn. Hold on, we gotta put this other discussion on hold. Oh my god. Yikes, bad guy. You fell for my trap card. Activated my trap card. All characters can jump and dive kick. Everyone dive kick differently, so each character had one attack, and all attacks were a variation of diving, and some characters jump differently. Okay. So it's more than what the way people are describing. That's a 4-0 panic point advantage, though. Bad guy is really pressing this. Wait, what? Why didn't we Waffalo? Why didn't we Waffalo? What? Oh, never mind. No, okay, never mind. I was looking at chat and talking about this other thing. I got distracted on whose turn it was. Do get the immediate panic point flip here. dearh, our hero, out of keys, as is bad guy. But that description is essentially like, more or less what I was thinking. It sounds like there's... like I said, it was more than was described to me, but... Oh, that's actually hugely problematic. This is a good play from bad guy. Are you just gonna race? Is that even feasible? Dude, if you can race this... Bad guy has a huge head start. Already has the Alistair there. I was about to say, I think if bad guy just body blocks, that's their best chance. Although they're probably doing this for the attack. Phantom being on that panic point is probably not where you want it to be, but... Yeah, because you can just claim this. Alright, I can understand how you can race now. Oh my god! Dude! This is the Uno reverse card in Phobies. Okay, this one was pretty sick. dearh is becoming the premier Waffalo expert. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That looked bad for our hero. But they made it happen. I wonder how viable Waffalo Rusty is on small maps in general. Bad guy opened themselves up to it here. Both with phobie choices and positioning. I don't know. It's cute. Why not? GG. But yeah, for dive kick, the point is, if you compare dive kick to even 1990s fighting games, like, they can do more than dive kick, right? Even if the dive kick has different properties. Point being is you could still hypothetically, and it's been proven, have a game with substantially less options that is still interesting. Now, I haven't personally played dive kick. Maybe I'll find it super boring. But there was a lot of fighting game people that I enjoy watching play that seem to be super hyped about it. At least they talked about it a lot. And I think that's true for most genres. That you can have, like, you can strip things down, and there's something to be said. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes complexity is what you want. And you just feel like playing a complex game. But complexity does not equal depth. And sometimes depth isn't always what you're going for. It depends on, like, what you're trying to achieve. Like, I'm designing a card game right now that I need to proxy up because I think I have enough, like, test cards to really, like, put it through its paces. And it is intended to be less complex, possibly less deep, but still be fun. And I'm hoping to test it out, and, like, we're talking about multiple different things here, but the bottom line is that there are different priorities to address, and there are different ways to handle those priorities. All right, chat. Mysomania here with... It's not coccojuice. It's more like coccojuice is our hero's name, which I don't think is what it's supposed to be. So, hero, you're going to have to tell us. The notes here are just lava, so we'll see what happens here. That's a very early Moly Bully. Although, to be honest, any turn you put... Or, Moly Bully. Tiny Tim, excuse me. Forgive me. However, any turn in which you put Tiny Tim on the board is very early. Because why would you ever want this guy? There's like 9,000 Phobies that would line up in front of him, and I know there's not 9,000. Yellow Prometheus action. I'm not real clear on what he's doing up there. But we're doing it. Let's see what Prometheus has got. Sometimes complexity undermines depth even. If the mechanics are so complex it allows you to subvert parts of the design, it theoretically made the game less deep. It's an issue a lot of roguelikes run into, where the meta progression is a layer of complexity but trivializes some of the off-the-cuff composition building. I agree with the roguelike example. I have played a number of roguelikes where it's like... I don't know if it reduces the depth that much at the highest level, but it's like you literally aren't playing the game until you've already put in X number of hours, because until you've unlocked things, you just can't do much. Dude, that attack animation is actually pretty sick. The old Shoryuken, speaking of fighting games. A little sulky. I do love that he has the tombstones going around him. I like the uniformity in attack animations for this stuff. When there are abilities that cross across multiple phobies, I want to see the same attack animation, so it's a visual trigger in your mind for what is happening. Yes, if you play the game enough and you're invested enough, you'll know all the abilities and all the actions, but like, it's important to have those things. With only 5 keys, it looks like our hero doesn't feel that they're in a position to really leverage the pull here. I feel like something could have been done, but then again, Tiny Tim does have 1 billion health. Is our hero's name supposed to be Coconut Juice? I don't... It's bothering me that I can't figure out their name. There's too many C's. Why are there so many C's? chat. Get a little Baba Haha action. We haven't seen one of those in a while. I smell bacon, chat. I don't think that's a sign of a stroke, but it smells like my wife is making bacon. It's very late at night for bacon. All right, so this Sulky is growing. He's becoming a big boy. What is he up to? It's only a level 3 Sulky, so he's only up to 600 damage, which is like. Then again, he's level 3, and now he does as much damage as Baba Yaga. I don't know. Alright, Hevo to clear a tractor pole? Do we have enough damage here to make this relevant? Obviously we do. Our hero wouldn't have done this, right? Oh, that Sulky's beat to shit. Prometheus slapping the snot out of Unicorn there. Why is the Gravedigger there? Is the Gravedigger there to be bait for the Attractor? Like, yeah, you can threaten the heart, but... yeah, this Attractor's gonna die. Ouch. Ouch town, population U, hero. This doesn't look great. Bad guy with a solid 8 key on the board in the form. That's interesting. We're gonna dive like that with Prometheus just to put lava? This does look like Tiny Tim's gonna meet his end. Wait, is he? Okay, he is. He is. But bad guy still has an Attractor. Still has a beauty. Alright, that's interesting. Wow, our hero is getting cooked. Hey, this is not good. They're down keys, they're down board position. That being said, that is a Baba Yaga trap. Beauty's still pretty healthy, though. Bad guy out of keys. Got a Skinwalker coming into play. Snowball? Oh, we can get the chop here? Nice. The lava should finish him off. And the glob is the counter. This is one of the... I feel like I'm constantly saying that glob is not good. Or like, why did they glob? I feel like that's what I'm constantly saying. Why did they play glob here? And this actually is a decent glob situation. If you can remove that Attractor, if the Skinwalker ever goes in, you just glob it up and... Sucks to suck. Skinwalker is powering up. Bad guy just... I don't know, they like saunas or something? They're just cooking their entire team the entire time. Panic Mode advantage is in our hero's favor, so eventually they will get there. Oh, the stemmed hit takes down the corn. Body block for the Attractor, realistically. Can't do anything. And then there were two. I don't know what... The Skinwalker's going to go on lava, isn't it? I mean, it can't, because if it does, the glob is going to get it. Dude, you don't even kill it. No! Oh, no, bad guy. That's a tough spot to be in. Dude, I actually, like... I feel bad every time I'm like, well, why did they do this? And as I said, I constantly feel as though I say that about globs. But this one really does make a lot of sense. And I will say that that lava did make a significant difference. I think the big thing was really just a beauty kill. But then bad guy just kept standing on it, so... Alright, you take that free damage, GG. You take those. Excuse me. Told you I would start. I am super wiped. This one. Jeremy is back on whatever the hell this map's name is. I looked away for a second to read the notes and then forgot the name. I love making people gargle some eggs. Okay. All right. We'll just let that one hang out there. Bad guy, or no, our hero, excuse me, leading with the Gravedigger, allowing it to get poison here. This is a little dangerous. Bad guy going unbearable because reasons. Sure, I don't know. Whatever. That allows Gravedigger to leech a little bit of life. The Henrietta poison isn't extensive, but getting it this early on a piece like Gravedigger means that Gravedigger now has to be a combat tool, which maybe it is after you do that first break. But it becomes challenging because that's going to add up over time and it's going to die trivially. Most likely. If it doesn't literally die to the poison, then something else is going to be able to clean it up without too much trouble. But our hero here, adding bad side to the mix. Klepto out of... Wait, whose game is this? No, this is Jeremy's game. We've had epic names submitted before as well. My bad. Sorry there, Jeremy. I think I said Jeremy was our hero at the beginning, and then I got confused for a second, because we've had epic names show up before. So our hero with the Unbearable, which I don't love, but I do like the Henrietta play, even though I don't generally care for Henrietta's poison. Early triple panic point advantage. Radiator out of bad guy. God, I will say that I'm glad it's finally starting. Well, I was going to say it's starting to cool off, but it's really only in the mornings. My wife and I were talking about it, that humans have definitely ruined this planet. I remember when this weather would have been happening at like the beginning of September. And now we're almost into November. And I could still be walking around in shorts. Which I admittedly would have done anyway. Because I get hot very easily. The old Gonzo action. What are my thoughts on Billy? I played every single game, absolutely shreds. Honestly, I haven't seen too much Billy, and I don't expect to see a lot of Billy just because... I don't know, it was the bundle phobia. We're not... you don't typically see a lot of those. I think we're really going to know... This is kind of my opinion on every phobia, just about. There are very few that have a different opinion. We'll find out in 6 months. Which is... I definitely see the potential for Billy. I think the biggest annoying thing is going to be the harassment. And it's going to be annoying from a gameplay perspective, but I think it might be a relevant tool. Like, it will push the game in a healthy direction. Because the slow march phobies, like Innocuous or Attractor, where it's, I build my death ball, and I'm going to walk towards you, and it's the inexorable march. You can't stop me. Billy allows you to get in, poke, get away kind of thing. Or if they have, like, they just set up their defense, and it's like, all right, come at me, bro. All right, I will. I'm going to harass you, chip your team down, and then eventually I'll get there. I think Billy may end up being healthy long term, but I think people are going to be pissed about it. Our hero making some strategic sacrifices here. Here comes the Gargles. What is the plan with Gargles here? You could block this out, which honestly might happen. Dude, are we going to lock the Klepto in? Dude! We locked the Klepto in! This is sick. You love to see it. Oh my god. Dude, I can't believe this really happened. You can't. That's ridiculous. Imagine the panic that goes through bad guy's heart when this happens. You know that guy is pissing himself right now. Dude, we're getting a gonzoed Maggie? Oh my god. There's literally nothing bad guy can do. They have 0 keys. They have no lobbers. They only have 1 flyer. GG. Very well played. That's actually a hilarious finish. Right now, front runner for the best game of the night. Maybe the Waffalo Will game. And I don't want to take anything from Waffalo, like the play itself. The only reason is because I think bad guy kind of like, not let it happen, but like they didn't do a good job of trying to play defense around that play. This one is just like so off the wall that it's pretty sick. Dude, that's so sick. I love it. I love it. GG. GG. Well done. Supposed to be 70s all week with the exception of tomorrow, which is supposed to be mid-80s in the back third of October. Yeah. It's just not right. It's not right. It does not feel right. What's crazy is like, so I'm planning on going to PAX Unplugged, and it's like the first weekend of December, and I might legitimately be going in shorts and be fine. Not like, oh, I'm gonna be in shorts, and it's like, well, I'll tough it out through the cold, and I'll be inside all day, so it's not a big deal, and I just want to wear shorts inside, and then I'll tough it out through the cold when I come home, because I won't be outside that much. It's like, the way things are going, it'll probably be like low 70s. It's like, I'm sure it won't be by then, but that's what it feels like right now. So I will say, as we get fearSouls again, whose name we had a lot of fun with the last time they were here. Well, first the notes. Even with my eye scream that had 209 health remaining, I managed to keep it alive somehow. All right, let's see. So I will say that we have been getting a lot of newer players here, unless everybody out there is on their alts and submitting games. But we've been getting a lot of low stress level games, which I want to take this as a healthy indicator for the game of Phobies, because we're getting people who are clearly net new to the game, assuming they're not alts, and they're playing the game. And they are getting invested enough to go watch YouTube videos, which obviously I have an interest in, for obvious reasons. But like, if you are invested enough in the game to seek out content, you're already in a very small percentage of the game, like of the game population. And there's, generally speaking, you know, I look at it similar to how people would view complaints. There was an old saying that it was kind of like, for every complaint that's actually voiced, there's 10 people who have the same complaint that aren't saying anything. And then those people, the implication is that those people will just kind of, they'll just go away if you don't address the problem. This is kind of the converse to that, where it's, if we're seeing someone, or multiple someones who are interested enough in the game to go to the level that, like, they're reaching out to have me review their game, it means that there are more people coming into the game. How many, we don't know, but I want to take it as a healthy sign. Either way, we get this early freeze, allowing the sheep to connect. I'll be honest, I'm fine with this play because you're going to get an 8 for 3 conversion here. You're going to kill the Blinky, you're going to kill the sheep, you're going to lose the Murder Wing. Billy plus Gonzo every single game. Opponents have tried Quagmire, Healers, Smiley, Foul, Miss Moffat slows him down but doesn't stop him. I love him. So how are you utilizing him there, Winter? Are you juicing him up, sending him in, get 2 juice shots from, like, no matter where he is? Or are you actually managing to get 3 hits off somehow with the juiced hits? I mean, he kind of needs a buff, doesn't he? And not like devs need to buff him, but like he needs a buffer in order to ensure that he's pushing enough damage, I would think. Ooh, we get a little Charon action here. I don't love the Gesundheit, as always, but, I mean, alright, it's fine. Bad guy just hates their phobies. This feels like it's one of those silly epiphanies. Sounds like a weird thing to say. PvZ, what's good? You missed a sick play earlier, PvZ. You missed a couple sick plays. But this feels like an early epiphany that's kind of silly in the sense that bad guy is sending in their phobies one by one to die. And this is the thing that comes up in real-time strategy games all the time, where, like, you need to group your units and send them in together. They are stronger together than they are on their own. They're better than just the individual sum of, not even some of the parts, but like some of the powers, some of the stats. Because they can protect each other or amplify their damage. Not necessarily through a buff, but they can ensure that certain things happen. If you just send them in like this in a conga line, they're going to get picked off and they're going to die. And that's exactly what's happening. Bad guy lost a couple phobies early and then proceeded to continue losing them. And it could be tilt. It could just be mistakes. It could be inexperience. It could be a lot of things. But either way, like, Frozen Bow Mangle, not the way you want to go. Times I get 3 times buff with Gonzo is not often. 2 times buff, hell yeah, killing all the Sentinels with it. I don't know the breakpoints offhand, but does a single buff and 2 hits from Billy kill an Oculus? It should, right? So that's probably about 900 damage, right? Because you get 500 from Gonzo, 250 and 250. And then I don't remember what Billy does. Like how much? I think it's 200? 280? It was a weird number, wasn't it? Well played there, Fear. You don't have to drag it out, though. But just kill him. There you go. You do get, if you win the game, you get the experience and resources for everything. You don't have to do the damage or kill them or whatever. If you lose, it is, or if you're losing, it is in your interest to drag things out a little bit because, you know, you get your experience for hitting things and stuff like that, which you wouldn't have gotten if you just lost. And obviously you get nothing if you surrender. So I don't know if you knew that. Just throwing it out there. In case anyone else new is watching and made it that far. What do we got? God, I don't want to jinx it. Bees! Which is really good because I am super tired. Be very bad. Maybe we should comment this entire game like we're golf announcers. Another high-level player bites the dust. That's almost identical to one of the earlier games. Russell! Bees. Russell.
face at this point. Absolutely gonna put people to sleep. People thought my voice was putting them to sleep before. We're definitely doing it this one. I can't wait for the YouTube comments asking what happened to the volume. Why they had to turn it up. And then the next game I'm gonna scream the entire time. Make everyone go ballistic. Be funny. Be hilarious to me. My Billy does 303 damage at level 8. 121 burn damage. Gonzo at level 13 gives 340 buff. So I'm doing 643 with every attack. That seems fairly solid. Although I was trying to compare it in level 1. Because the ladder is a colossal clusterfuck. There's no way you can tell what's going to happen on the ladder. That's a Sabian. You don't see those very often. Now I need to figure out how to talk like Steve Irwin. I was actually going to try and look into some voice changers. I think that would be kind of funny for the stream. Yeah, we got a lot more turns in this game. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Bad guy with a massive buzzsaw hit. Once again, everyone's just sending their phobies into the goddamn wood chipper. Why? Bad guy, tell me what is it that you hate most about your phobies? Why do you hate them so much? Every phobie thinks they're Rambo. They're solo the entire team. It's not how that works. You're just getting cooked. Follow-up Eternal Night is just a crap on your plan. This bad guy gonna march Goon into the teeth of our hero's team? It would appear not. Maybe they're learning, adapting, they're evolving. Our hero is taking a goddamn beating, though. They said it was a level differential, we'll see. Is it to be believed? 4 level difference is fairly significant. I can accept that. The earlier game said that it was a level difference and it was like 1. The phobie levels were literally 1 level different. I feel as though that jar is about to get cooked. It'll likely result in the goon's death. Jar is in fact cooked. Bad guy follows up with Cerberus. I think this is a mistake. I was gonna say maybe bad guy is doing the event. But then, they put a Sabian on the board, so it's clearly not all loaded in. Cerberus was a choice of all time. Of all the choices they made in their entire life, this was absolutely one of them. Sheep and gas, because why not? Bad guy out of keys, hero 6 remaining. Oh my god, the slaughter. The carnage. Doesn't matter, Goon is fucking dead. Get farted on, nerd. Hero with a hit and run plan. Good job. Klepto, the final phobie. Yet another game decided by Klepto on Showdown here. I can't wait until Cars sees that earlier game with the Gargles play. Get farted on, nerd. It's a fart explosion right in your mouth. All up in your mouth. There's a blame it on the dog joke somewhere in here. Just can't think of it right now. Let me know down in the comments. Chat, we made it. Entire game. I think I got quieter as the game went on. I don't know.
We actually did lose viewers throughout that game, so I think people hate the whispering. I don't care. I thought it was funny. You actually got louder. I think you just turned up your volume. Yeah, I do shit like that sometimes because it's amusing to me personally. Because, let's be real, this is all just a hobby. I've commonly shared what the YouTube revenue is, and it is comical in and of itself. So, yeah, I'm not quitting my day job anytime soon, chat. Believe me, I'd love to, but it's not happening. My nose is itchy. But itchy nose aside, justrandomst. Coming in here is our hero first time using Akira. I don't think that's true. I know Just Random unlocked it recently, but I thought we watched a Just Random game where they used Akira already. Am I incorrect? Am I incorrect about that? I don't know. Chad, I've been thinking about getting back into World of Warcraft. Talking about it a lot with my wife. And we both want to. But we do kind of need a laptop or a second PC in order to do it, because we would want to play together. And I don't know. I'm leaning towards I don't want a laptop. But hey, W's, what's good? I will heal her tank if you don't cover both of those. She usually DPSs, I'll heal her tank. Like, my very first character was a Resto Shaman, and then I made a, an Undead Warrior. But, like, my second main character eventually became a Tauren Death Knight. Because I just really enjoy, like, I love the lore for Death Knights and stuff. I'd rather DPS for sure, but we'll see how pug groups go. I just gear and all. Yeah, that's fair. Got your viewers back, if you say so. But yeah, I can't decide, because, like, I don't want a laptop, but it would be valuable for streaming other events. Like, if I wanted to stream real-life events, I could actually do an overlay or have commentary or do different setups with a laptop. But laptops, just due to what they are, kind of suck. Second PC is probably going to cost less for better hardware. And yet, ooh, good pick there on the Murder Wing. But if you don't kill this Giggles... Is this lethal? Dude, what a great play! I'm busy talking about computer parts, and like, this is a sick play. That's 7 keys, mostly for free. I mean, there is a world in which bad guy can punish this. Absolutely not by doing that, though. Nah, I guess there was really no way. That Noxious is too far. There was no way for bad guy to punish that, so well done. I do like using Noxious a lot. Not saying I'm just random, by the way. Fair. Akira. Not quite doing Akira things. Just annihilating. Just erasing that cassowary from existence. But yeah, I don't know. We'd be better off getting a PC, but the laptop would have value elsewhere, so I'm still debating, and then as we're debating, it's like, this is expensive. Do we even want to do this? Because again, this is all a hobby. Alright, real talk, this has been the night. We've had nights where it's just like, this is the night of just ass whoopings. And then this is the night of super long games. Or this is the night of super fast games. Or this is the night of whatever. This is the night of our heroes with, like, crazy comebacks. Because bad guy has claimed every panic point. Also, it's apparently the night of bad guy throws. Like, why is this bad sushi here? It wasn't even a useful bad sushi, which is almost an oxymoron in and of itself. Fetch? Alright, I think you're getting a little too cheeky here, just random. You gotta reel this one back in. You gotta reel this one back in. Literal bad sushi. Yeah. Yeah. I should post this TikTok my wife sent me into Discord later. You'll understand it when you watch it. Do you like some good boys? Wait, what? There are no good boys here right now. What are you talking about? TikTok heavy like a brick's truck. Are you having a stroke? What does that sentence mean? What are you trying to say? Oh, it's happening. Oh, with the fetch. Okay, yeah. That's fair. That's actually a sick, noxious hit. I wish they could program it such that the smiley effect just literally doesn't happen to the mechs. Because it's super annoying for that to potentially impact your arena turn. I can't think of any other effects that are like that. We've been talking about the potential for, like, a faster animations option for a very long time, but I don't think that's ever actually going to happen. I wish I had Smiley, though. You're not missing out on much. You're not missing out on much. This game wasn't as much of a comeback as some of the other ones. This was just very well played. I mean, Akira does Akira things. And you do get to beat up on people for a while if you hit that, like, that gap where you have Akira, but not many people you're going against have Akira. Yes, you kind of by definition have a stress level advantage, but you don't necessarily have a monstrous one. And instead can just beat them up with Akira. Get rid of all animations, that's how you speed things up. Scooting on a board with information just being text in the side window. What are we gonna... We're gonna go back to IRC chat so that we can have all text games. Bad guy, the squiggles plan is not gonna work. There's literally an Inoculus on the board. It can't work. Like, I do like the animations, and I think some of them would look super weird if they were sped up. Like, if the Akira... Well, the Akira one, if it went faster, probably wouldn't be bad. But I think some of them would look jarring if they were faster, even if we didn't already know what they look like now. And some of them might be unintelligible if they went faster. And I'm not saying all of them need to speed up, but there's certainly ones that are really slow. And some that are really fast that it's really noticeable that they are that fast. Comparatively. Alright, chat, let's get into the next one. Let's see what we got here. We're going through a reasonable clip. We even took a break to have a silly discussion. Alright, we got Horror Show 1's crushed yet another guy. Got him. Alright. Why is every word capitalized? Just for emphasis. Is it your turn? Oh, did I skip you, PVZ? We'll get you on the next one. I missed the line. PVZ will be the last game of the night. We're on Musomiya? Question mark? Hero leading with Noxious because of reasons. Bad guy leading with AWOL. That's, I don't know. Other reasons? This map without Snowball first play is the strangest thing. There's a lot of maps where it's just like, why did you open that way? It's just suboptimal. I don't know if this is necessarily one of them, but it is uncommon, I will say that. I did not see that, Atona. I honest to God don't even know what that is. I have to be honest, this Halloween update wasn't really an interesting update. What makes you say that? Because I honestly think it's pretty good. I think they hit on most of the phobies. I'm a little disappointed there weren't more undead ones. The maps, at least the large ones, seem interesting. We're kind of in this loop where maps aren't... The small maps just aren't as good. I don't know why Bad Guy allowed this. Like, why did you do this? Did they just not notice the stem? That's just weird. I don't know. Yeah, I think this update was pretty good. I think there were worse updates. You know, that might be an interesting thing to go back and look at. To pull up all the updates and, like, rate the updates. Is this Noxious not just dead? I guess it doesn't die from this. I do like our hero going this route. Bad Guy will probably get a poison off. But then our hero will have time to recover. This Halloween update was fire. Like I said, my main complaint is that... And this doesn't really matter gameplay-wise. I just like the undead phobies. I was explaining to people how I like undead stuff and everything. I like the undead phobies. But... they are the least populous phobies in the game. Getting Undertaker was a hell of a trip. Yeah, Undertaker looks sick. Like, I like the idea of Undertaker. I think it's really cool. And Atona will appreciate this one. I always compare... Because they obviously... Like, everybody was going nuts about... Like, before we saw Undertaker. Like, oh, how's that going to work? How cool is that? We get this new thing. And it's super excitement building, right? It's great from a marketing perspective. Every time I see reveals and hype stuff like that, now, all I can recall, or all that comes to mind, is this would have been 95? Maybe 96? Magic the Gathering printed a set called Visions. And in the preview for it, in a magazine called The Duelist, they were doing previews kind of like what the patch notes said before we saw the actual phobies, where it's like, get ready for this, where it does this, but it doesn't tell you how it works. So we got Undertaker, and it's like, get ready for Undertaker, who can bring your dead phobies back. And then we saw the trailer, and it's like, okay, we can see them coming back, and we can speculate. But there's one... So in Magic, they previewed... or said there was going to be a 12/12 for 1 mana that had trample. But none of the details about it. So everybody was speculating, and so, oh my god, this thing's going to be broken, and blah, blah, blah. It only ever was good in a combo deck that kind of cheated the rules of the game, and that was like almost 20 years later, I think. The card was terrible because it had all these drawbacks. Point being is that you always have to eye these things with suspicion. So we'll see how Undertaker does long term, because it's a very powerful ability, but I don't know. That's hilarious, Tone. I wonder if that merch, because it's misspelled, is worth more. That feels like something people would get excited about. Alright, Bad Guy. Come on. We didn't talk a lot about this game, but like... We had bad guys throwing their stuff into the wood chipper before. Now, it's not really throwing them into the wood chipper. It's not conga lining. This is the other end of the early game experience where it's just like, you're just not really thinking ahead, and you just get blown up by things. You know. I think he's going to encourage conservative playstyle, either that or spam resurrects. I think the other option for Undertaker is he encourages, like, not spam resurrects, but very aggressive diving plans. So, like, you send a phobie in, say, like, Noxious or Sheep and Gas or something. Like, you send it in, it will live to do its thing. And normally, you would have just burned those keys and maybe done a bunch of damage, but you don't actually kill the phobies, so you don't get that far ahead. But now you can Undertaker, bring that guy back, and immediately throw it right into their team again. And the second hit will be catastrophic. I think that's going to be the most interesting line with that guy. 7 keys to 0. Our bad guy's team just looks absolutely pathetic. Harsho is just kind of whomping this guy. Just punching him right in the neck. I don't really have anything to add to this game. We're just, like, this sounds bad, but I was going to say this is almost background noise because bad guys just getting pulverized. If we get a poison mixed with disease damage-based phobie, we are surely dead. Are we? That's just a math question of does the math work out to make it reasonable? Because you can do that now. It doesn't come up very often because most of the time the disease phobies are bad, right? Delayed damage is not as good as damage now. Because you'd rather just kill the thing now rather than give your opponent the opportunity to have some last actions. You'd rather win the game now than give them the opportunity to win the game instead, right? So, inherently, disease and poison are weaker strategies. There's a pretty good deck in Standard Magic right now that's a similar thing, where there's a slightly overstated 3-drop, a 5/5 with flying, with a good ability, Manifest Dread every turn. But it has a drawback in its casting cost, but the way the deck works is it tries to mill it into the yard and play it for 1 with that card that reanimates a creature that costs 3 or less. Interesting. I mean, I'm waiting on Reanimator strategies to happen in Star Wars. They kind of exist right now, but they're not quite there yet. Alright, chat. We had a lot of people, like, there's a bunch of games in here that are dupes. Like, we had people submit, like, 4 games in a row. But there's still like 30 games in here, and there are some a significant number of different people. There's also there's an Alien Engineer game in here, and a couple other people that we didn't get to that are net new. I don't anticipate we're getting a patch anytime soon, so I don't think they're gonna break. No, hopefully I didn't knock on wood. Wait a second, hold on. Okay, never mind. I thought we looked at the wrong game for the last one for a second. Naturally, we're going to finish up on the longest game of the evening. PvZ, imagine using Brony and it does nothing but watch in horror as its entire team dies. We've seen a few of those. Never thought Sheep and Gas would survive this time in the end of a match. Yeah, I mean, Sheep and Gas just look pretty good. But I think Sheep and Gas does have renewed potential with whatever the hell his name is. God, I can't think. The phobia we were just talking about, the resurrect one. Sheep and gas is so sick, I wish I had it. Isn't it part of the standard stuff? Undertaker, yes. Sheep and gas is not part of the starter stuff? Dude, we got a Hexy? Alright. Level 6, though. Yeah, bad sheep is way more interesting than sheep and gas. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, bad sheep I get. Like, sheep and gas I'm pretty sure is part of the starter collection. But that also, I think, is buoyed by Undertaker. And much more likely to be able to do the thing that I was describing. But the problem is that's 12 keys. Really 21 keys, because it's 9 for Undertaker, I think. I don't remember. Like, that's a lot of keys. Glob plus Undertaker is a really funny combo. I think that's where it's probably going to shine most, is stuff with Glob, because you're carrying around all of those phobies in your pocket. So it's like a weird phantom. It's probably a way worse phantom, but phantom was very good, so like bad phantom's probably still good. Chuck gameplay, let's go. A little Chuck action. I gotta admit, it takes some stones to drop a Chuck on a small map after you broke a block into the face of Tick. Never mind, the Tick is just beaten feet. Hero on mono undead at the moment. Panic points going our hero's favor. Here comes the brony. Honestly, given that our hero broke that the block in front of the heart, it does make the brony connections a little bit easier. Like, I don't hate the brony at a bad guy here. I don't know that I love the Contortio diving like this, but bad guy is... Oh no, never mind, they're not maxed out. Yeah, was it necessary to throw away Contortio? Like, who cares if that gets bronied? You have a bad sheep, though. It was a strat? For what? To bait them into putting another phobia on the board? I mean, they didn't have to. Could take advantage of no cures, no healing. I don't mind that idea. I'm just a little surprised that bad guy fell for that. Also, they should, bad guys should, probably sacrifice the castle. Wait, what? So if that was your plan, why did you kill the cat then? I don't know about that one. Oh my god, what is it with the bad sushis tonight? Bad sushi carried. Stop it right now. You stop that right meow. We do get a 3-phobie connection with this bad sheep. I don't know what the hell this brony is doing, though. In real talk, what is this brony doing? Ugh. Yeah, bad sheep is obviously going to pay with its life. So here's the question. Would you pay 15 more keys to be able to do that again with bad sheep? I don't know. I don't know if Undertaker is actually going to be good. Like, there will be games where you win strictly because of Undertaker, but it's going to be a tough call. That's 2 phobies dead for freezies. That is, in fact, a big ol' hit to remove that phobie from the board. Tick can still disease Gravedigger, but can no longer get Chuck. Wait, what? Does bad guy not know how Brony works? Okay, so hold on. You know why? I was gonna say they could have shut off all of our heroes' team, but they would have hit the Tick. But the Tick can still disease. The bad sushi can still poison, so I guess maybe I kinda get... I don't know. Bad guy played way too defensively, and they put out some terrible phobies on the board. Why did they need Smiley in this scenario? Either Brony or don't Brony. Yeah, they're just doing it for the sake of it now. GG. Hilariously, bad sushi does literally nothing to Slayer. And bad guy can do nothing to displace our hero's phobies. Just gotta wait for the disease / poison to tick. That's Slayer against the world. Down goes bad sushi. That guy did put a lot of pressure here, I will say, but looks like Chuck is going to bring their offensive to a screeching halt. Or rather, Gravedigger, I guess. GG. Well played. Well played. Chat, let me mark this. 3, 6, 9, 10. All right, we got them all for the evening. That's going to do it for this set of viewer games, chat. We'll be back next week with more viewer games. Hopefully trying to get back into a more regular schedule for streaming, because tournaments seem to, like, larger tournaments seem to be done for the foreseeable future. For my real life stuff, I do kind of want to take a weekend off, like, of just everything at some point, because I need a weekend to just, like, chill and kind of recuperate. But we'll figure that out another time. That's going to do it for this evening. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.